And, oh, I can't talk anymore.
No, I'm following.
I guess Lane is there someplace. Or did he? There's Lane. Okay. All right. It is.
Who's in the furthest corner? Oh.
Right or left? That's Mr. Smiles.
That's Toby Smiles.
Okay, and then you, and who's this? Oh, this is.
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. It is 4:58, but since we have everybody here who's coming, we can start because we're going to start with our meeting, and we won't open the hearing until we finish with our meeting. Our meeting is started with the approval of the minutes from the June 4th, 2025 meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
And there's a copy there for whoever wants to review them.
I make a motion.
Susan made a motion to approve, and Annie made a second.
No.
I'm sorry, she's abstaining.
Can I?
Yes, you
Okay,
can.
I'll second.
So we have Susan Morris made a motion and Deborah Linus seconded. Do we have any questions, comments, changes to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of the minutes say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved.
And then do you sign them and give them to Kim?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we do.
Sure.
I send her the draft within 5 days.
Okay.
And then I don't know how it.
I can file them if you want to sign them and put them in my box.
Okay.
I think Kim maybe is rather do it that way.
Okay, very good. All right, the next order of business is to open up the hearing, and I'm opening up the hearing at 5 o'clock. Just want everybody to know that we are recording this hearing, and I am asking that it's okay that we waive the reading of the public notice that was in the newspaper. And hearing no objections, I'm going to waive reading the notice. I'm going to introduce the members of the Development Review Board first. I'm Deb Granquist, and I'm the chair.
Susan Morris. Annie Fucci.
Deb Linus.
And on Zoom, we have Jeff Lennox, Laura Katz, and Toby Smiles. Okay.
Is
Then
Laura Katz, did you say Laura Katz?
Mhm.
Yes. Okay, sorry.
Yes. We do have two people here for the appellant, and that is Ally and her husband, who is in here present, and her husband Lane, who is on Zoom. We don't have any other members of the public here, and the zoning administrator is here. The matter before us this evening is an appeal of the zoning administrator's decision by, do you like to be called Coho?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That makes it easy.
Okay, by Coho. The owners of Coho inquired about event use at their property. The zoning administrator denied their request, finding that the property is not zoned for, quote, hosting wedding type events or otherwise grandfathered for such a use. The Coho owners appealed the zoning administrator's decision by letter dated, we have that in the file here, letter dated June, let's see. We'll get that date. We'll figure out the date, but by letter that was emailed to the zoning administrator and to the Development Review Board. Under our zoning regulations, appeals from zoning administrator decisions will be heard by the Development Review Board as set forth in section 705(1) and 705(2) of our zoning regulations. Proper notice of the hearing was properly warned in the Vermont Journal. I do have a copy of it here.
I could do that. I'll put it with it.
Sure. And it was warned in the Vermont Journal on July 2nd. And I see that the zoning administrator has the required notice was sent to the abutters, and we received return receipts from everyone.
We don't have them all, but that's not unusual. People don't pick up certified letters.
Okay, we have most of them. No, okay. How many are there? Like, well,
2 out of 5 or 2 out of
okay,
6.
all right.
I also send the same notice by first class mail,
Okay,
always, because people don't pick up their certified mail.
yes, the requirement for sending certified mail is a state requirement, but as Will said, very many people don't pick up their,
It's actually only required that I send it to the applicant,
okay.
but in our bylaws, we're required to.
Oh, okay, by law rule. Okay, thank you. And you will provide the names and address of the abutters to our secretary at your convenience.
Okay.
The hearing notice indicates that the matter will be reviewed under section 200, 215, 511.1, and Article 8, which are the definitions in the zoning regulations. To date, we have received
Is there a copy of that? Because I couldn't print it out.
a copy of what?
What you're just reading.
Oh, no, I only have it. I brought it with me.
Okay, because I couldn't print it out because my computer isn't talking to me.
Well, I know, but I didn't send it to, this is like a script that I
Okay,
do.
sorry.
And I
thought
use it
you were
for the
reading.
minutes.
Well,
Okay, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
it's just a
Continue.
script that I do it so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Deb can do the minutes and I know what
Okay,
I'm supposed to
Right,
say.
Go ahead.
no.
Otherwise, I'd be
Continue,
going,
please.
what? All right, to date, we've received from the applicant, the letter that I referenced, and I think you've sent recently sent out another letter that they sent.
And there was one today.
Yeah, I
Oh, okay.
printed those off
Okay.
because I knew that I don't think that they were able to get to you. in
Okay,
time,
so there are 3 letters from the appellant, which we have 2 of them, and you're
Okay.
gonna tell us about the third.
Okay.
Okay, are there any relevant permits or materials in the file of the previous owners?
No,
Okay, the hearing will be conducted in accordance with the rules of procedure adopted by the Development Review Board, and copies of those rules are available at the town office, or you can see them on the website. Does anybody on the Development Review Board have a conflict of interest that they need to
No.
report?
No.
No, and does anybody has anybody had any ex parte conversations or communications on this matter?
No.
Nope. Okay, thank you. According to state law, only persons who have participated in the hearing have a right to appeal the decision of the DRB. There is nobody here other than the applicant. Okay, all persons, including the applicants, although there are nobody else here, who might be giving testimony or speaking tonight are required to take the following oath. So I'm going to ask Ally and Lane to, I'm going to just read you the oath. Don't worry, it's very short. And all I need you to say when I'm finished, like I do, or I will, or I whatever. Okay, I hereby swear that the evidence I give in this case shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under penalties of perjury.
I do. I
She
will.
does, and Lane?
I do.
Okay, you do. Oh, okay, thank you. All right, just so the applicants know, the general flow of the hearing will be, I'm going to ask the zoning administrator to explain why he denied your request, and then I'm going to ask you guys to talk about your request. And then the DRB may ask questions, members of the public may ask questions. We do this relatively informally. So if you have questions at any point, please ask them, and we're probably going to interrupt you and ask you questions as we go along. At the end of the hearing, the Development Review Board has to decide next steps. And what we decide is whether we have received enough information from you to be able to make our decision, in which case we will close the hearing. If we determine that we haven't received enough information, we recess the hearing, but you don't have to worry about that till the time comes and
Okay.
we will decide. And if we close the hearing, or whenever the hearing is closed, the Development Review Board by state law has 45 days in which to render a decision. We try to do it as quickly as possible, but it's summer and people have summer vacations and stuff. So we will get to it as quickly as we can. I ask anybody, but particularly Lane and Ally, do you guys have any questions about the process or?
I don't think so. I think it seems pretty straightforward.
Okay. All right, and as I said, feel free to ask questions as we go along. So I'm going to turn this over to Will to talk about why he denied this, and then I will turn it over to the appellants to tell them why they believe that the zoning administrator should, and that we should approve this, your request.
All
So,
right. The Colonial House is in the rural low intensity district. And let me just hand you out a section from the bylaw, which says what are the uses in that district.
okay.
Um,
Here, I think I probably have two of them here. There we go. So zoning board members on the phone, hopefully you have your zoning regulations there and you can take a look at what he's talking about. So he's going to start, I think, with section 215.
yes, so the permitted uses, I won't read them all out loud unless the people online want me to. But there's nothing like a hotel or a restaurant or a wedding venue under that description. We don't have a wedding or event venue in the bylaws at all that I can think of, unless it would be at an inn or a restaurant. And Weston's bylaws are pretty strict on expanding non-conforming uses. In section 511.1, it says, a non-conforming use shall not be extended or enlarged, nor shall it be extended to displace a conforming use, nor shall it be changed to another non-conforming use, nor shall it be changed to a conforming use and thereafter be changed back to a non-conforming use. So that's basically where how I came up with.
All right.
my findings.
Does anybody have any questions for Will at this point, or do you want to hear from the appellant first and then we will ask questions?
I have a question
Oh.
for him. How big is the property? I know what district it's in, but
It's 5 1/4
Yeah.
acres. Just on
I
that.
asked about,
What'd you say?
I wanted to
Okay.
ask about the history of the property.
Oh, okay. I thought that was Lane.
Okay,
correcting me.
go ahead, Toby.
I missed that.
Toby wanted to ask about the history of the property, and I'm going to turn that first over to the appellants, and they can explain what they know as the history, and then Will can talk about the history that he knows
I'm
too.
gonna pass these
Oh,
out too in
thank you.
case you'd like them, but so the property has operated as an inn and motel since the 1960s. And we understand that the zoning records don't show a formal approval for events. But during the purchase process, the sellers did share with us that they had been approved for motorcycle rally and hosted gatherings like yoga and sewing retreats, family reunions. And so when I came in to do research to look at the file, and I didn't find an approval for a motorcycle rally that they had specifically told me about when I was buying the inn, I asked the town clerk, what about the motorcycle rally that you were approved for? She indicated that that had been a verbal approval. I asked her directly about this and she acknowledged it. While the verbal approval may not be documented, it does demonstrate that event use has at least been approved under the prior ownership in some form, unless she's being dishonest, which I doubt that she is.
How long ago was that?
This was a month ago
Oh,
when
then,
we had the
but
conversation.
when did they?
Oh,
go?
the motorcycle rally, I think within the last 5 years.
Okay,
Yeah. I think, I don't actually
Okay.
know for sure. The other thing that we wanna note is that there have been weddings on the property. much larger than what we're proposing. So the previous owners had weddings on the property, family weddings up to 130 people. We are proposing what are called micro weddings, so 50 people and under, with a no amplified sound after 10 p.m. No more than 33 people staying over at any time, because that's what we're limited to. We have restrictions on parking, so we can't park more than 25 cars. There would be no off-road or overflow parking onto public roads. If we used a tent, it would be temporary and compliant with fire and safety codes. It's not something that, like, we don't have anything in the pipeline. This is all speculative, but we don't believe that this would be a frequent part of our business. However, I think it would be very helpful for our business to succeed in Weston, to be able to expand our services slightly. I mean, we already can seat, I think, up to 30 people just in our restaurant. So we're just asking for 20 more people to be able to gather in a tent. It's not a huge,
Look at this.
it's not, oh, sorry, that's my daughter.
Okay.
It's not, it's not big, I don't think it's a big leap from what's happening there already. We really just want to be respectful of the town rules. We understand why the zoning is in place. We also live on the property. We do not want loud, raucous events that we can't control. We would put together a policy, which I, kind of did like a mock policy, event use policy on the back of this packet here that we would present to any potential guests that we're looking to do either a family reunion or a small wedding or rehearsal dinner. But so, I mean, the previous owners did have retreats, family reunions, yoga retreats, sewing retreats, which, are similar to what we would be looking to do. And there is well-documented proof of all of that. A lot of people from this community have participated in fundraisers that happened at the Colonial House over the years. I know, like, when there was flooding in Londonderry, we heard that they did a fundraiser there. And so I don't think that this is a big leap from what was already happening.
Which of those events was outdoor? I know the motorcycle rally.
The motorcycle rally and then 2 weddings. I don't know the date of the weddings.
So does that mean they proceeded without a permit back then? They just went ahead, the previous owners, and did it?
There's no record of a permit. So they might have been told by a previous zoning administrator that it was an accessory use to the property. I don't know.
Okay,
But I think one of the questions, though, is a permit required for
right,
that?
right.
So I have a couple questions. Do you hear me okay?
Yes, perfect. But actually, Jeff, just before I go to you, Toby, did that help you and give you perspective, or is there other stuff you need to know? Or you'll ask?
I was just curious, Will, do you know, because I don't know personally when it was a Colonial House, what kind of, activities went on up there on a regular basis?
I don't think there was anything outside on a regular basis. There's always been groups that have stayed there, like the walking group and the painting group, I think.
And the
But they have-
motorcycle
they
rally,
have been
wasn't that, I mean, isn't that partially outside it? I mean,
That would
the
have been an
the
outside.
Colonial, they used to do, the Seymours used to do that too.
I've only heard of one. I don't know if it happened more than once.
Okay, so they had one, okay.
But
Okay,
historically, over the years, they have hosted small groups in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't think you would need a permit to host people inside. Because it's a motel. I mean, I think if everything's inside, that's in their existing permit.
And they did weddings as well?
Well, they did 2 family weddings.
Okay, okay, now we'll go to you, Jeff.
Okay. So first question actually for Will. Actually kind of a mixed thing. When I did a little bit of research through our new friend AI, it came up with actually, and I didn't go back to proof check any of this, but it says in the 1950s, the hotel section of the property was built as a part of the Palmer House in Manchester. So it's showing the first aspect of a motel being back in the 1950s. And then it said 1969 is when motel rooms 1 through 7 were transported and added to the property in 2 sections in 1969. And I think that's consistent, at least the 60s, with the testimony earlier. The question I had for you, Will, the regulations that we go by were first adopted, zoning regulations, in 1976. Are those the first zoning regulations for the town?
There were some tiny ones that came before that, maybe. I don't know exactly what year, but just, you know, a little pamphlet, postcard size pamphlet.
So if that's true, most likely it started its life as a hotel before there were zoning regulations in the town of Weston.
Yes, and I'm not questioning their right to have a hotel on the
Yeah.
site.
No, but I think that affects future discussions we'll have. It's not that it came up when, you know, that somebody in the past started something when those zoning regulations, even a hotel itself, when there were zoning regulations. So I just wanted to clarify that. And the other thing for the applicants, is it correct that you are not proposing any modifications to the building or building any infrastructure to be able to host these events?
That's correct.
Yeah, so it'd be a temporary, if you need a tent, you bring in a tent company and they pop up a tent and then the tent goes away. So it's not a permanent structure that
Exactly.
you are proposing.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be a massive tent either. It would just be kind of, I mean, we have a proposed location of where we would put it. I've got that kind of lined out here, but basically the driveway is a circle and in the middle, there's a green area, which we would need to grade out a little bit, but that's where we would want to put it, basically right on the road.
So kind of like if somebody has a lot of property and they want to have a big party on their property, they rent a tent and they pop it up, you know, for a graduation party or wedding on their own property or something. That's kind of what you envision here, it sounds like.
Yeah, we just want to be able to have our guests use the outdoor space a little bit more. It's such a big part of the property. It's so beautiful. And it's a huge, I think, appeal. And again, no more than 50 people. We actually just had a barbecue 2 weeks ago with about 50 people and it didn't look like a crowd. I mean, it was not really that impactful on the grand scheme of things. There was plenty of parking for everyone. And it just gave us an idea of what 50 people looks like on the property. And I can say without a shred of doubt that it's not overwhelming.
All right, that's it for my questions.
Any other questions from people on Zoom?
I just want to add that we have required permits for outdoor dining at Weston and at the Bryan House and at the Hub. I don't know if that's a precedent for this case or not, but that required site plan review.
But wasn't that because they were building something?
I think it's both. You know, we don't, the zoning bylaws don't say whether a restaurant can expand outside. But certainly going from 30 to 50 is an expansion of the use inside or out. If they expanded their dining room, the whole 50, they would need a permit. So it's a use versus structure issue.
So
Yeah,
Will,
and that's also why I asked about if there's any construction. 'Cause I know that I was involved in the Hub case and they did have to build something out there, put up fencing, and there was construction related to that dining. So that's why I just wanted to clarify before if there was any construction related to this request.
We don't have any construction plan for any of this. It's more just utilizing the space we have.
We have another guest. It's Joel Maxwell of the Seckler subdivision. So he just
Hello,
joined us, the
everyone.
Seckler subdivision.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know, we're still working on the previous matter, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you. So any other questions from people on Zoom? Any
Yes,
questions?
I
Okay,
had a question for you,
Susan.
Will. Under the permitted uses under this zoning district, it says private recreational facility. I'm hearing barbecues, I'm hearing some yoga, hiking, weddings. Tell me why you think that is something else. What is private recreation facility?
I think that's like the Rod and Gun Club.
Okay, exclusively
Yeah,
that? Okay.
yeah. And I think the definitions, I didn't bring the whole bylaws. We could
So
look at the
you're
definitions.
distinguishing between a private organization and a commercial organization?
Yeah, I think most bylaws do that.
Yeah, we have
For
private,
recreation.
recreational,
Yeah, I'm
and
just
public.
clarifying.
I had a question for the applicant. So if you're
Just
looking to add,
wait, okay, go ahead. Wait,
Sorry.
just wait 1 second. Actually, private recreation, oh, wait a minute, private recreation facility is a recreation facility catering exclusively to members and their guests and not to transients.
Yeah, it wouldn't be just open to the public wouldn't be invited.
How is the Rod and Gun Club not open to when they invite people into their activities that
Yeah.
are not?
Cause there's
Their
a
members.
separate one for public. There's
Public is
recreation.
recreation facility
I know,
catering
I'm
to the
just trying to
public. Yeah.
understand differences. here.
The Trout Club would be a better example of private recreation.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, Toby, to you then.
just curious, do you want to, you currently can seat 30, is that right, in your restaurant?
Yes.
And you're looking to go to 20 just for special events, or you're looking to go to 20 to expand the restaurant itself?
This would be just for special events.
50.
To 50, yeah. So I think what you meant is increasing it by 20, yeah. So it would just be for these events.
And are you gonna have porta potties, or are you gonna look into changing your septic permit?
We could do porta potties if that's what we needed to do, if it was more than 30 people or more than 33 people. Because we're assuming that most of these people are staying at the hotel and they all have bathrooms in their rooms. So I guess.
So wait a minute, so you have rooms for
Up to 33 people.
Up to
So then there's
33 people or 33 rooms?
33 people, so other
So
guests
rooms,
may
so-
stay off-site. And it would be like a whole property buyout, so it would be
Mhm.
assuming that all of the bathrooms for the rooms would be for the guests, and then we have one common area restroom also.
Okay. All right, anybody else? Okay, this is a question for members of the Development Review Board. Have we gotten sufficient information from the appellants and from the zoning administrator so that we can actually close the hearing?
I just want to ask one quick thing,
Laura?
sorry. So your number is 50 top limit, or you know,
No,
you're
50
putting
tops.
50 max?
Yeah.
Okay. And you can accommodate 33 people. How many rooms do you have?
So we have 13 rooms, and then we have currently what's set up as an innkeeper's unit, but we're thinking down the road, those may be rooms that are used for guests.
Okay, so it's like
So
double
we're-
occupancy for each
We
room?
have some rooms, so we have most of our rooms are double occupancy, and then we have 2 rooms, one of them's 4 and one of them's 3. They're
Okay.
bigger rooms with like a different bed configuration.
So you theoretically, if you change the innkeeper suite or whatever, you could have 35 people sort of, oh, sorry.
33.
33 is the
top
max.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
And
thank,
then it would actually bring in potentially income to other properties if there were guests that needed lodging elsewhere.
So you have a current wastewater permit,
Yes.
and that wastewater permit is for how many people?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Okay.
If it's, might be online, I can look for it.
Because
It
that
takes
may
in-
tie our hands.
Well, if the porta potties are used, it might not, I mean,
Okay.
that'd be something for an engineer or for the A&R to answer.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know
Um,
when the septic system was installed?
I don't off the top of my head. I know that the Seymours came in the 70s or early 80s and replaced part of the system. I think it was either, Lane, do you know?
I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I know one,
So it's probably not gonna be online, but
yeah.
So what we are going to have to do, even though if we close the hearing, we are going to have to look up that wastewater permit. And that will be relevant to our decision. So that will be
Yeah.
information, and once we get it, we'll share it
Okay.
with you so you
Yeah.
can see it, because I think that could be relevant to our decision.
Okay.
and the other option is hiring an engineer and asking about if you have the capacity for 50 people.
Okay.
That's true. And the town, wastewater issues is not something that the town has any control over.
Right.
It's the state that has control over
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Okay? But, all right.
Does that apply also for decisions that were made before the state took over?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
If a house has been lived in continuously, it doesn't, but for business, it certainly would, or for a second home, it would.
okay. All right, we're getting ready to close the hearing, so any more
Is that okay with you?
Yeah,
questions?
I
Lane and or Ally, or is there anything you?
do want to say that we spoke with our neighbors, especially the ones that are
Mm-hmm.
directly abutting us, David Davis and Mike and Bonnie Savage, and both of them were in support of this.
Pretty mellow people.
Yeah, and they gave us their full,
As
full
long as they
backing.
get a glass of champagne.
Sure. And we also, we're close with them already, even though we've been there for a year, we've had really good relationships with them. And, we've offered to let them know ahead of time if we are having one of these events. But I don't think it's really going to impact them very much. It's pretty.
All right. Hearing, going once, twice, 3 times? All right. I would like to have a motion to close this hearing.
So
Annie
moved.
Fuji is making a motion to close it. Second.
Second.
Susan Morris seconds it. Any further questions on this motion or anything? Then, okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye. We're closing the hearing at
Aye.
5:32.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all right. The motion is, the hearing is closed. Lane and Ally, you are more than welcome to stay, but you can go if
Okay.
you would like
I'll
to.
get
Thank you all for your
Um,
time.
No,
Really appreciate it.
I'm not kicking you out. You're more than welcome to stay. We do have another matter that we're going
Okay,
to be dealing
very
with, but
good.
you can stay and be a member of the public if you would like.
That's okay.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. All right. Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Okay, we closed that hearing at, what time was it?
5:32.
5:32. All right,
We lost the
oh,
owner of the sector subdivision.
okay.
Oh,
I'm still here.
Okay, you disappeared from the screen.
Thank you. No, I had turned off my camera for a second, stepped outside.
Okay, all right, we're going to switch gears and, I'm going to, we are not doing a hearing, this is just our meeting. And let me just begin by, your name again is
I'm Joel Maxwell.
Joel Maxwell. And Joel, just to introduce members of the Development Review Board, I'm Deb Granquist, I'm the chair, and we have,
Susan Morris.
Annie Fuji?
Deborah Linus,
and then on Zoom, there's Jeff Lennox, Laura Katz, and Toby Smiles. And our zoning administrator is here, and there are no members of the public, and the coho people left. So Joel, let me just, why don't you explain to us to begin with what you are looking for, and then we'll talk about what we think we have to do, okay?
Perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's very nice to meet you all, and thank you for taking the time tonight as well. The so we're under contract right now to purchase the Seckler subdivision, and we'll be closing in August, so soon. The with the neighborhood, all of the permits are in place in terms of wastewater permits, stormwater permits, and detailed engineering drawings, which Chris Panesi, and Ellis Spieth initially developed, back when they presented it and engaged with the town of Weston. We also have the approvals in place for, from the town as well, for this neighborhood. The one area where I wanted to be able to get some feedback from this committee on is regarding the requirements for us to take out a bond as we begin this site work and the construction. The right now, the requirements are for us to take out a $300,000 bond, right, which would ultimately, right, be a bond between between myself, right, as the developer of the neighborhood, the town, and then certainly with we're working with Mike O'Neill for the site work. So we have really great information from him about the site work required, and he's been out to the property and seen it as well. And so so with that, wanted to engage on the bond itself, bond amount, and then we would be then proceeding to do that. I'm happy to share some more about kind of our vision and thoughts for the project as well, if that's helpful too.
Okay,
I
so
think
so
Well,
let me go back a little bit. And then, yes, Annie said she would like to hear about that,
Great,
but let
great.
me just go back a little bit, because you mentioned that the subdivision has all its permits. However, and Will, you correct me if I'm incorrect here, you don't have final plat approval.
They do.
Well,
Yes,
but you
we
don't
do.
have, it can't be filed until they either build the improvements, the required improvements, or they get a bond. You don't have to do both. You can either build the improvements to the satisfaction of the town engineer, or you get a bond. It's
Yep.
not both.
It's not both. Interesting. Okay.
And so the rationale for getting a bond is that oftentimes in the past, well, our subdivision regulations gives the developer the option. You either finish the project completely to the satisfaction of the town engineers, you do all the required improvements, which, having read the decision, they are your monuments, the road, and there's a shared septic system. So
And stormwater and fire
Yep.
protection.
I'm sorry, stormwater fire protection. So you have to do all of that before you get, I know you say you have final approval, but there is no filed Mylar, and you cannot sell lots
Yes, that's
until
right.
you either build all of the improvements or get a bond that says you're going to build all
Yep,
the improvements. And the $300,000 is not the amount, well, I don't know what the amount of the bond would be. That was an amount that was approved, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. So
15.
15 years ago. So if you chose the bond route, it would presumably be a lot more than
Be more money.
$300,000.
Yeah, we this super helpful explanation, and we would prefer to do the improvements, right, and get it to the place where it's you know, where it is you know, actually we've done the work, right, which would you know, enable for that would make, you know, I think a lot of sense.
Okay, so are we done then? I mean, you
Well,
know,
then
you,
other-
you want to do the building, you want to do all the required improvements.
Yep.
We will send as you do them, our town engineer comes out and says, oh, you didn't do this, or, oh, wow, good,
Yep.
you did do this. And then they
Fortunately, they have a stormwater permit that's been kept up, so they may
And-
not have as many
you
problems.
know,
as-
so
Yeah.
that's, and then once you get that final sign off from the town engineer that everything is okay, then you can start selling lots.
There
Is
is
that-
one more issue.
Okay, one more issue from Will.
We have different road widths depending on where you look. The state regulations, which are adopted by the town, say 22 feet. The subdivision regulations say 20 feet, and then, no, 24, state says 24. And town say 24, subdivision bylaws say 22. We made Little Pond do 20, and the plans say 18.
Well, if his,
I think the plans may be grandfathered. I don't know, maybe we have to ask council.
maybe the town engineer will know that too. So, all right, but let's, okay, so we do have the issue on this road width, which let's put that aside for the moment. I also don't understand, how do you access this?
Do you know
So
where,
that
The other, I was wondering.
do you know where
which-
Nate Hebert lives? Right on the Andover
Yeah.
line?
It's from the
No.
Marsh Hill Road.
That's
is
right.
Where they would be, and it would be a dead end, or would there be traffic going through?
It would
to
be a
Old
dead
Harbor?
It would
Okay.
be a dead end.
That's gonna get to from Andover.
So, okay, but does that road exist?
No.
It
Well,
does.
You can hike it.
Well,
You-
whose
You can
responsibility
hide
is
it,
for
you
doing
ride
that
it on a
road?
horse.
It's the.
That would be- yeah.
Okay, so in addition, there's two roads you have to do. You have to
Yeah.
do the road in, and you have
Yep.
to do the road on the.
And most of the
in
road in is
subdivision.
in Andover.
Right.
So the Andover might say a different width than Weston says.
So we don't have control over that getting, other than there has to be a road.
Right.
Yeah.
But we don't have control over approving that road, only Andover does, is that
And that's
correct?
the road in.
Yeah, the road in.
But is
Yeah,
the
they-
road
they've
in the
shared their-
subdivision in Weston, or is the
It's
road in the
partial.
subdivision?
The road in the subdivision is all in Weston.
Okay.
Yep, and then getting there is partial Andover, partial Weston. And we have, you know, Andover had shared approval right back in the,
These lines
Yeah.
straddling. We
Yeah.
had another big subdivision like last year that was part in one town, part in
It was the
another.
last year.
2 years?
At least 2
2
years.
years ago, I don't know.
All right, so
Okay, go
what,
ahead.
all right, you're saying, okay, the road into the subdivision is through Andover. And so
Yeah.
you have to upgrade that road to the
right.
satisfaction of,
And then 100 feet in Weston.
and 100 feet in Weston, so I guess then the 100 feet in Weston has to be the satisfaction of the Weston Select Board and road crew and that kind of thing, it's not.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, I'm gonna meet with the select board, because I'm not sure they've signed off in the proper way on that, upgrading the class 4.
Okay. So, all right, so in terms of the road into, your responsibility is to take care of you being, Joel, your responsibility is to take care of the Andover portion.
Are you gonna stick with Glen Rock, or do you have another name?
we were planning on sticking with Glen Rock, but very open for suggestions here.
We don't,
We don't care.
I
we don't
know.
care.
I mean, we should probably look into whether there's another road in Andover named Glenn's Drive, but
Yeah,
All right, so then Will just said there's 100 feet of that road into the subdivision in Weston. He's going to talk with the select board to make sure that, I don't know, we're all on the same page around that.
If they
okay?
say they're happy, it was voted at a meeting, but it says something in the subdivision by, oh no, it says in the town road policy how that's supposed to be done.
Okay, and that is not the 18 feet versus the 20 feet.
No,
Okay.
that's just permission to use a class
Okay.
4 road.
So then in the road inside the subdivision, Will, you're telling us that the decision is that, or the plans are for an 18-foot
Yes.
road?
Yep.
I don't know. If that was, I guess if that's in their decision, I don't know that we have any authority to.
If that's all
Right.
right, yeah.
If for some
guess
reason
the
that
only
had
thing-
to change, if somebody said that had to change, council or whoever, would it be an issue to enlarge it? The width?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we would, we'd love to use what was in the plans with the 18.
Right.
But if it was something that, that had to, we'd certainly engage with that and figure it out.
I looked it up today. A typical fire truck is 8 foot wide. So in theory, 2 fire trucks could pass on a
And there is a
18-foot road.
shoulder, or is that, there's no
There's-
shoulder?
Hopefully there's a shoulder. Yeah.
And this will be a
Yeah.
private road maintained? or-
Private road.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Joel, I'm gonna ask Will to also, when he talks to the select board, and then we'll have to talk to our town engineer about the width of that road, if it's grandfathered because it's in your decision at 18, or if
Right.
we have to do something about it, because as Will pointed out, it's one thing in state law, another thing in our zoning regulations, and another thing in your decision. So.
Great.
Okay.
No, that sounds great to have that conversation.
I just have one question
Sure.
on overall clarification as to a bond or not. But so your intention is you're purchasing the land which is under contract, and rather than having a bond, you intend to proceed immediately to do the improvements required to sell the lots. So your upgrade, your roads, your sewer, everything, although you do have some of those permits in place before you sell the lots. Is that my overall
right.
understanding why we're here? Okay.
And
Yes.
the other thing is we would still need an estimate because the cost of inspection is based
Right.
on the estimate.
The estimate of the cost to do
Yeah.
all those things.
So we would request from you, Joel, a estimate from your engineer of
Right.
the total amount of the proposed expenditures for
For the
For
required
all the
site work.
required
And
improvements.
so you
Perfect.
probably want the width of the road.
And
Yep.
I'm just wondering, is there a timeline here? I mean, I guess this has already been almost what,
Yep.
10, 20 years?
Yeah.
Since
Yeah,
2011, so your intention timeline, I guess, or is this going to be another 20 years before?
we were we've been working with Mike O'Neill for the site work, and the intention was that we would begin later this year in the late fall, early winter timeframe. And certainly before we did that, right, we would certainly have our engineer Chris Panesi back out to stake all of the requirements in a way that we would be able to match approvals. But that's the intended timeframe.
So, and Joel, in the decision for the Seckler subdivision, it does say, yes, the final plat is approved. However, there are conditions to final plat approval. Excuse me. One is monuments. The other is an inspection of all of the required improvements, which is what we've talked about.
Yep.
And the required improvements are monuments, streets, fire protection infrastructure, and then this shared septic system and any stormwater
Yep.
stuff. I think that's covers everything.
Yep. That's great. Yeah, that matches our understanding as well.
Okay. right.
Great.
Any other questions from members of the DRB or the, or on Zoom or in here? No, no, all right. Oh, we're not closing a hearing, we're just saying you can, we're just done.
Thank
Have we answered enough of your questions, so you know where to go from here?
This has been super helpful, and what I'm hearing is that that we'll lead some additional conversations around the road width, right, to be able to determine that. I will also work with Mike O'Neill to be able to get the estimate in a way that can be, you know, engaged with, right, for subsequent review, recognizing it's not for the bond but for the final inspection. And so I'm hearing those as the next takeaways here.
Oh, no.
You froze up.
Oh, can you hear me? Am I back?
You're back.
All right, great. Yeah. So those next takeaways just around the both the road width and then getting the estimate for the site work to be used for the final approvals.
Okay.
And those are the only
Great.
outstanding things we need to worry about.
I
Yep.
think so.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
We are probably going to adjourn in a few minutes, our meeting, but you are welcome to stay for the rest of our meeting if you would like to.
Are we
But-
gonna deliberate tonight?
Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you
I'd
very
like
much. I really appreciate it. I will step out, but thank you for this conversation and thank you for all the help that, you know, Will and the town has really been like, we've engaged through this process. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Take
goodbye.
care. Bye.
Okay, all right, so, it is now, whatever, 5:50, and we can stop, recording. And I just want to ask everybody, well,